In this episode, we discuss the distinction between REITs and ETFs and ethical investing,
gay pride, and weed.
Hey, what the hell is up, everybody? This is BTFD, or Buy the Fucking Dip. I'm your host, Heth, Jesus Weinstein,
And I'm Jed, Smoke Weed Weinstein.
Right, because that's a subtle. People call you that
It's my nickname on the
on the street. That's your street name.
at the country club.
So this has been a crazy week.
It's been a crazy week, sort of. I mean, it's really just been like what the market does. I don't think it's been a crazy week. Everyone's like freaking out. It's been a very crazy week. I don't think it has been.
Well, I would say it was crazy. I was going to talk about how I went to the Pride Festival on Saturday and got this bracelet, and it says, Pride and Joy, and then you turn over and it says Macy's, because they were throwing them. And I was like, oh, this parade has been, compromised by Macy's. So one of the topics I was going to discuss is ethical investing. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I think, like for instance, my landlord.
Keep it green.
Keep it green. My landlord, I have a rent stabilized apartment, and it's they want it back because it's so cheap, and you live in New York City, and it doesn't make money for the landlord. I understand that, but it's not my fault that I got in the 90s and got this place. You know what I mean?
No, it is your fault. You should never take handouts, don't you know that?
That was a handout, right? And then I'm the bad guy for having a cheap rent in the middle of Manhattan. So what should I do? Give it up so he can make more money? I don't know. But he's been very aggressive to get me out. But that's what leads me to my next point: REITs,
Real Estate Investment
Trusts. So how the fuck can a guy like me, who is never in a million years ever thought I'd be involved in real estate? I'm investing in REITs, which is really, this is a way of getting into real estate when you are don't want to be a scumbag landlord.
Yeah, well, it's also a way. A lot of people who don't have cash to put down on a piece of property, you can be you can own property, and you can do it through REITs.
Yeah, in a way, you can do that because REITs invest in everything from education, what do they call it, like dorms, and then
malls,
yeah,
outlets.
Yeah.
I mean, there's digital things that are catering towards where people sell real estate to house cloud bases, where all the computers are, and that there's a trust is an ETF for that. There's an ETF for everything.
Well, ETFs are different than REITs, so that's the distinction you should make.
The REIT is for the
REITs are real estate. That's cool, but an ETF is a basket. People need to know this is a basket of commodities or whatever, not commodities.
I always mix them up.
No, a lot of people do. It's good that you made that mistake because what is an ETF? An exchange traded fund, which is another way. It's a stock. Just like a REIT is a stock, you can trade it daily on the market. Mm-hmm. And these ETFs are comprised, if it's one, I was going to say, do you want to buy an ETF for REITs? Then get VNQ, which is a great time to get into VNQ right now because REITs are so down. And REITs were the scourge of the market around February 8th when it bottomed out. And people were not really understanding what was going to happen with the tax breaks that Trump was initiating.
So they were running away from it.
Yeah, so right now though, REITs are up almost 14%, which is double the S&P 500. Mm-hmm. So, this is actually going to be a sector that we're piling into. Why are we buying it? Because nobody wants it. And just this week, big money, or the last couple of weeks, big money from the big boys, the corporate desks are starting to really pile in.
Yeah.
So this thing is going up. REITs, man. SKT is a big one if you want an individual one to get into, but
you got to look them up. They all go into different sectors. We won't get into it.
Well, we're going to recommend a couple things.
There's a great website called Google. You like?
Oh, right, that one's good. If you don't know where Google is, Google it. The thing is, you could have bought it when it was worth buying. That's another story. We're not buying stuff that's too expensive. Yeah. I like buying a lot of cheap stuff, letting it go up a couple bucks, and then blowing it out, selling it, unless I'm piled in for a long term for the long-term compounding thing.
But we always buy very good companies that are undervalued. That's pretty much the philosophy. So Google is not undervalued right now.
Well, that's why the contrarian play in the real estate space is buying REITs right now. Mm-hmm. And that's all we do is we buy stuff that's out of favor, and we buy stuff that nobody wants. That's the scourge of the market because we don't want to follow the trends that are already happening. You know what I mean? And that's why we were buying oil a couple months ago. XLE is another ETF that we really dig. It's a composition of great oil stocks, and so it's a way of having these ETFs give you an exposure to the sector. Whereas if one of the companies failed or was having major problems,
a little bit lower risk.
So the risk is lower, and you're immediately diversified. You know, so there's a lot of benefits to REITs.
If you like sleeping at night, I recommend REITs and ETFs.
Right.
The other thing when we bring up ETFs, you know, everyone is talking about they want to invest in weed, cannabis, everything.
Oh, you're going to say that.
And,
but you invest in that quite often without even buying
I
the
invest
stock.
in it in a quite a different, unorthodox way.
Right.
And,
Was that gravity bong a good investment? You turn it upside down and you see the smoke goes up. Yeah,
well,
that's pretty good.
it's probably better to invest in whoever makes gravity bombs than actual penny stocks of weed.
But in
So-
Colorado, they have such a surplus right now. It's like,
Oh, the price is down $400 a pound.
what was it?
I don't know. I don't follow the poundage.
No, but I
price.
think that an eighth is like $6 or
I haven't-
$7.
It's been a while since I
How
bought
much
a
is an eighth in
pound.
New York City?
I
would
don't
say-
know.
I think it's
I'd
about
have to ask someone that
$100.
smokes weed. I'll get back to you on that.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know much about that one. But
Everyone is assuming that now is the time to buy into weed and
Yeah.
cannabis, but I would say if you like, we're investing, we're not speculating, and I wouldn't recommend getting into that. It's not time yet. You just can't do it yet.
but
or
you've
else-
been buying you're investing a lot in bunkweed, which
Yes.
is really good. It's from Mexico, and no, I think that's the problem is a lot of the illegal aliens that they're keeping out now aren't able
Yeah.
to really get in here with some good weed. And that's the other side of the problem. You know, when people think about, I'm going to get in the market, I want to invest in stuff,
Yep.
but I don't want to own like RDSB or Shell or something
Yeah,
like
or
that.
anything about
Where
weaponry,
they're destroying the environment,
military, jails. I mean, these are very profitable. You can invest in
gambling.
in the private jails and in prostitution.
How do you get exposure
everything.
to prostitution?
You invest in the
Casinos.
companies that own casinos, but the ones that own the brothels, the legal brothels.
Oh, that's true. There's a stock for that? Which
I
one's
believe
that?
there is. I don't know at the moment.
Oh, okay. Google that one
Google
too.
that as well.
Yeah, but we are recommending some things, and that we kind of were thinking about putting disclaimer up. All these other guys who talk about stocks in the market on YouTube and other
Yeah.
places, and even on the bigger channels, they always write like, "I'm not responsible for when you throw your inheritance into the market and lose it all." So I think we just want to say,
I think if you look at us, you can tell that we're not like, do we really need a disclaimer? I mean, come on.
he's so against disclaimers, and he's so against. I was like, Jed, let's do a different kind of intro, and he was like, "Oh no, we can't do anything like that because everyone's doing that." You're wearing a hymn shirt, so you have a big exposure to Satanism, actually, right?
Yeah, well, there's an ETF you can get into with Satan's.
Right. That
basket.
one's called Lucifer, right? LUCFR. You can check that out when you get a chance. Don't forget to Hulk smash the subscribe button, and also tell your friends to watch our show.
Okay, Dan.